In the next few minutes, you're going to know exactly how to make AI cartoon videos like this. I've been testing AI video tools for months, and the workflow I'm about to show you is the fastest path I've found from a blank screen to a finished cartoon you can actually post. This workflow starts with writing a cartoon script that's both interesting to watch and incredibly easy to create. Every cartoon script consists of 3 core principles. You've got to have a clear hero, someone the audience will be rooting for. You've got to have a clear villain, someone the hero will defeat. And finally, it's got to be incredibly simple to understand and digest. This is what separates cartoons that kids actually watch on repeat from the ones they scroll right past, because children's attention works on pure emotion and clear stakes. And to make creating all of that super simple, I've actually built out a custom template that you can use to create cartoons just like the ones we'll do today. This template does the heavy lifting for you, so you're not staring at a blank screen trying to figure out story structure from scratch. So to use it, you're gonna go ahead and head over to ChatGPT and open a new blank window. Then you just want to copy and paste the template into the chat. And in this template, you're gonna go ahead and write out your idea for the cartoon. For me, it's gonna be this. After a greedy fox steals the candy flowers from the park, Pip the bunny uses a magical bell to return the sweets and teach the thief that sharing is better than hoarding. This hits all 3 principles. We've got Pip as your clear hero, the greedy fox as your villain, and a simple lesson any kid can understand. This is gonna be a simple and nice cartoon that's gonna be super interesting to watch for any kid out there. So once we have our description done, we just wanna go ahead and click create. And here you have it. You've got all of your scenes. For me, it's gonna be 6, with a clear description of what's going to happen in each scene and the narration that we're going to use later on in the process. So now that we have our script fully fleshed out, we're going to build custom AI models of your characters so that combining them into scenes and generating new images becomes effortless. Once we have our images, we'll turn them into actual animated video clips and then add voiceover to tie everything together. And by the end, you'll have a complete workflow you can repeat over and over again for any cartoon idea you ever come up with. The tool that we're going to be using from now on in this process is actually called OpenArt. It's by far the best all-in-one platform for AI generation. And the reason I chose this over other tools is because it lets you create consistent characters that look the same across every single frame, which is absolutely essential for cartoons. If you want to follow along, there's a link to OpenArt down in the description below. And when you first sign up to OpenArt, you're going to go ahead and click to the characters section on the left over here. Here we have 2 options. We can either start with an image or start with a description. Since I don't have any images in mind, I'm actually going to go ahead and start with a description of our characters. This is actually the easier route for most people because you don't need any design skills or reference images to get started. So if you click on start with description, you'll see this window pop up where you'll have to give a prompt to the AI of your characters. To make this really simple, we're going to let ChatGPT do the heavy lifting for us. We want to go ahead and head back over to the ChatGPT chat window and write this. Give me a prompt description of both the characters. And now it'll give us a prompt description of both characters, which saves you from having to figure out the right wording yourself. So we'll just copy over the first one, paste it inside the prompt box, then select the 3D style and click generate. This will pull up a couple of options that we can select between. And for my hero character, I'll use this one right here. Then once you have that done, it'll generate you a couple of options, a couple of different angles of your character. And if it looks good to you, you just want to go ahead and click looks good. Then you want to fill in the name and optionally a background story. For this one, I'll just fill in the name of my character. For me, it's going to be Pip the bunny. Next up, I'm going to repeat the exact same process with the villain of my story, who is Wex the fox. After both the models are actually done generating, you'll have the option to go ahead and click create on each one of them. And now you'll be ready for the third step in our process, which is generating the images. So let me quickly walk you through the interface. In the top left, you have the option to add the characters, which is something that we'll cover in just a second. Besides that, you have the prompt window, and here you want to actually keep in mind that you're going to be using the different assets by writing add, then either your character name or the image name if you're going to be uploading any images. This is how OpenArt knows which character to pull into your scene, so getting this syntax right is essential. Then you have the generation mode that's only going to be here if you're using the auto model, but I recommend you to just select the Nano Banana Pro right here and just stick with that. It gives you way more control over your outputs and the quality is noticeably better. And finally, you have the option to select the output size. I'm going to go ahead and select 16:9 and 4K for all of my images so that I'm using the highest quality available. This matters because when you're uploading to YouTube, you want your visuals as crisp as possible, and starting with 4K gives you that flexibility. With that being said, we're ready to start writing our prompts, and for that, I've made another template for you to make it extremely simple to write any prompts whatsoever. If you go ahead and grab that, you'll just want to go ahead and paste that into the same chat window that you've used previously. Then in this field right here, you're going to be copy and pasting the scene descriptions that you've just received. So if I go ahead and copy over scene number 1 and paste it inside those brackets, then this is the result I'll get back. I'll get back my image prompt that's already using the same format of adding a character as OpenArt does. And it even gives us a video prompt that we'll use later on, so you're getting everything you need in one shot. So let's go ahead and take this first prompt, copy and paste it into our prompting field in OpenArt, and replace the character one with the name of our character. Then we're going to make sure that everything is good with the prompt, and if it is, just going to select the number of images we want to generate and click create. And the result we get back looks amazing. The character stays perfectly consistent, and this is the magic of using character models instead of just describing your character over and over again in every prompt. And so I'm going to go ahead and copy this prompt over as well and paste it in. And before we replace any characters, we want to click on this button right here, add a character, and here you'll be able to add any character that you have in your library. For me, I'm going to just add the second character that we've made for our story. I'm going to go ahead and add the second character right here, and then I'm going to go ahead and add the first character right here. Then I'm going to go ahead and make sure that all my settings are the highest available. Before we click create, there is one trick I've found that massively increases the consistency, and it is attaching the previous image as a reference image. So I'm going to click here and select it out of the history tab. Then I'll go ahead and type this at the bottom of the prompt. Reference this image at image 1 for the environment consistency. And don't worry, you don't have to do it every time. Just remove the prompt above that line and it will stay here for the entirety of the process. Okay, now that all of that is done, let's click create. And here you have both of your characters now interacting within the same image without you having to prompt back and forth, redescribing them over and over again, or referencing any images whatsoever. It's the best process I've found to create consistent images with your characters, and it saves you hours of frustration trying to get two characters to look right in the same frame. So what you want to go ahead and do now is repeat the process for every scene that you'll be having in your cartoon. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and come back with all of my images ready. And here I have it, all of my images that I'm going to be using for the next step of our process, and that's generating the video. Thanks to the perfect setup we've done up to this point, creating videos is actually going to be one of the simplest parts of this process. Because we have every asset possible ready, the only thing left is just copy and paste. And so I'm going to go ahead and switch to video, which is extremely simple to do here in OpenArt, and select image to video out of the options available to me. Then I'm going to go ahead and select the model. I prefer using Google Veo 3.1, but Kling 2.6 also gives you pretty good results, and Kling 2.5 is also worth testing out as well. Each model has its own strengths, so don't be afraid to experiment and see which one gives you the style you're looking for. I'm going to be using Google Veo 3.1, so I'll select that. And for my cartoon, I'm actually not going to be using N-frame. The reason for this, because without N-frame, it gives you more of a consistent result. If you're using N-frame, you're sometimes going to run into issues with morphing and things appearing out of nowhere, which can ruin an otherwise perfect clip. But if you do want to go ahead and use N-frame, you want to make sure that all of your images are actually fitted to use N-frame properly. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and upload my first image from my first scene. Then I'm going to head back to my ChatGPT chat window and copy and paste the video prompt that we already have ready right here. Remember, this is why we set everything up the way we did, so that this part becomes pure copy and paste with zero guesswork. Then I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I have all of the highest settings available, click create, and here's the first result. In my opinion, it looks amazing, and it's really surprising how fast and easy this was to do. Let's go ahead and keep going with this second scene. I'm going to change out my image and my prompt. And since OpenArt is made for efficiency, all of our settings are saved exactly as they are, which means that we can just go ahead and click create and get our next video back. This saves you from having to reconfigure everything for each scene, which would get tedious really fast when you're doing 8 or more clips. And this video looks just as good as the last one. It still keeps everything consistent because we are using our custom characters to create this, meaning that we're never going to have issues with characters looking different from scene to scene. Everything stays super consistent throughout the entire cartoon. And so now I'm going to go ahead and finish all the other videos and come back once that's done. And so now I have all of my videos done and ready to go for the final step of this process, and that's creating the narration for this cartoon. You don't actually have to leave OpenArt to create your audio generation. You can easily do it by clicking on the audio setting right here, and this menu will pop up. There's a couple of things we need to prepare before we paste in our narration, and that starts with the voice. For this specific story, I'm imagining a classic British narrator playing in the background. So I'm going to search for British and filter for male. And here we have it, George, a warm, captivating storyteller. So I'm just going to select this. Then I'm going to go ahead and lower the speed a little bit so it sounds calmer and more relaxing. I'm also going to lower the stability and the similarity. Usually, keeping these high makes your voice sound consistent, but that often leads to a monotone delivery. In this case, I want the performance to be a bit more exaggerated and theatrical, which is why I'll lower both of them to 0.2. To push that emotional range even further, I'll increase the style exaggeration to 0.4. We're actually ready to incorporate our narration. That's really simple to do. You just want to head back over to the ChatGPT chat window. You want to copy the entire scene-by-scene layout and paste it right into the prompt box. Then, you just want to go ahead and delete everything besides the narration. You also want to make sure the generation is only of the narrator. Here, I actually have one line for my main character, so I'm going to remove that for now and do it as a second pass with a more kid-like voice. This ensures the AI creates a distinct separation between the narrator and the characters without blending the styles. That everything here is done, I'm just going to click create for the generation. And now that it's done, let's take a listen.
In the sweet candy park, colorful treats bloom like flowers. Pip, the bunny, loves sharing them with everyone.
It sounds exactly as I imagined, so it's almost ready to go. I'm just going to go ahead and do the final line for our main character. I'll select the voice as American, female, and young for the age. I'm going to select Gigi right here. I'm going to heighten the speed a little bit and pump the style exaggeration as well to 0.5 to really capture that high energy. Click create, and now we have everything done. The final step in this process is putting everything together. You can use whatever editing software you prefer, but I'm personally going to be using Premiere Pro. I'm just going to put in all my assets and arrange them in the exact order I need them. I'll add all the narration and some chill music in the background, and here is the final result.
In the sweet candy park, colorful treats bloom like flowers. Pip, the bunny, loves sharing them with everyone. But look, a greedy fox sneaks in and takes all the candy. He wants every sweet just for himself. Oh no, the candy is gone and the park feels lonely. Pip knows just what to do. Ding, ding! The magic bell rings bright and clear. The candy flies back, right where it belongs. The fox learns his lesson and says, sorry.
Thank you so much, Wex.
Sharing feels much sweeter than keeping everything alone. And now the park is happy again. With sharing and kindness, everyone wins.
The whole cartoon came out looking really good, and with this entire workflow, we've done it all in under 20 minutes, which is incredible. There is still one crucial thing I need to mention. If you try to duct tape this workflow together using 5 different random tools, you are going to hate the process. Your characters are going to turn out totally different, the styles won't match, and you'll spend hours fixing mistakes. The only reason this works this fast is that OpenArt handles the consistency, image creation, video, and even audio for you. So if you want to actually make these cartoons without hating the process, sign up using the link at the top of the description and start creating. I'll see you in the next one.